Everybody, welcome back. We're doing another Marvel Future Revolution video. We're gonna be talking about all the characters in the game, including MAGIK. Okay, we got a little bit until we get to December, but we're gonna talk about where we rank these characters, ability-wise, strength-wise. If you're thinking about who you want to main, maybe if you're new to the game, or even if you've been playing the game for a little bit and you're thinking about switching, we're gonna talk about our thoughts, go through the list. Let me know below in the comments or join the Discord link in the description below. Love to hear what you think about the rankings. Where am I right? Where am I wrong? Where am I totally off? Obviously, this type of things can be somewhat subjective, but I like to start a dialogue on it, and maybe we can talk about this every so often when they do some reworks or as people adjust characters or get to higher levels. Sometimes when you get to level to a certain, or a character to a certain level, they kind of take off, right? So I want to hear stuff like that as well. Captain America, once you get to 1.4 million, is insane. Right? Something like that. So, like I mentioned, the Discord link, description below if you want to hammer down like buttons, notification bells, subscribe as well. Always appreciate you. All right, let's check this out.
Bring me WolverThor!
All right, first up, bottom of our list, Starlord. This guy needs so much work. I don't know if he's in any rankings on a mega flight. Tell me. I know there's some out there in different servers who are doing okay. His abilities need work. His cooldowns need work. His iframes need work. So normally when I start these things, I like to first look at Dimension Duel to see how they go one-on-one. So I'm going to look through. You can see the top three, at least in a mega flight, and all these are going to be a mega flight, is Spider-Man, and we've got 2 Captain Marvels, which is impressive. Now, Dimension Duel can also be about how much time you spend in there and what time you're in there, so it's not a perfect analysis for you, but I'm going to look through and see if I can even find any Starlords. All right, so we've gone through the kind of the top 30. I didn't see one in there. Let's go all the way to 100 and see if, you know, is anyone in the bottom part. And one thing I'd love for them to do is actually show the symbol of the person with the main. USMC, I believe, is a Captain America as well. So yeah, so anyway, Starlord needs some work. You look at other game modes for him that showed a little bit better. Omega War, it's like, okay, again, you got some Spider-Man, Iron Man. Off to the side, we've got Mags is a Black Widow, Toxic Spider-Man, Black Widow. I believe Machine Gun Flow Spider-Man. Captain Marvel. I think Aaron's is a Captain Marvel as well. So Dirk is Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Black Widow. Let's see, what's Viking? So yeah, Black Widow. I already know in my server that there's not a lot of these. So if you've got, I mean, again, and I'm looking for somebody who's like in a, you know, semi-competitive, you know, doing well, like a lot of people playing high point type situation, but nothing. And there's Doctor Strange is in there, but I don't typically see Starlords on these sort of lists, which is kind of like, okay, again, now look at Battle Challenge, you know, you got all storms, right? Misadari Yao, another storm. This one typically is dominated by Storms. She's the PvE queen, and we'll get into her in a little bit. So Starlord, I find not basically anywhere on these lists. You know, Dark Zone, I'm not even really going to count. You've also got obviously Invasion, if you really want to look at those. That sort of thing is as well something that you want to look at. But again, depending on the timing of the server, some people might be holding back, some might not. You don't know. So as I look through these, do understand, and when I look at them, and by the way, see how all of these we got the little symbol over here? Netmarble, you should have on each one of those so we can all quickly see what somebody is, right? Suggestion for you, suggestion box. Next up on our list is Captain America. Again, he should be higher up. It seems what happens with him is that once he gets to about, and I mentioned this in the intro, 1.4, 1.5 mil, he seems to be a lot better. I see Captain America's on other servers that are pretty good, but I mean, I think we've got a few on ours, but again, all of them are huge. Wolfman, I talked about earlier. Again, to me, he sets the standard, at least on Omega Flight. He's 1.3, so maybe I need to lower that amount to 1.2, 1.3 is what point you start understanding exactly how good they are, but you don't see a lot. And when you look at like the sort of the PvE stats on these things, or the PvE different like game modes, that's where it's kind of like you know, you're not really going to necessarily see really any. And I'm scrolling through these because I know what characters these are, and I'm looking for somebody who might be a Captain America, but you typically don't see it. I mean, just thinking about Wolfman, let's see if we can even find Wolfman atop the battle challenge, right? So, and now there's always the chance he hasn't done it, but let's just use him as the standard. A strong, big Captain America. Where is Wolfman? There he is, 98th, right? So now that's, you know, 5'7", you know, who knows how far he went, but that's where the highest Captain America and Omega Flight can get in Battle Challenge at the moment. Omega War, let's find Wolfman again. And again, I'm using Wolfman as sort of a standard because I know that Wolfman's a good player. So if I can find a good player, and that maybe that's how I end up talking about some of this stuff, is know a good player, know good strength, where are they ranked in these things? Again, caveat being, how much do they play the game mode, all that sort of thing. But I start to get a little bit of a feel for that as I've kind of been playing the game and knowing and seeing these people in these game modes. So this PvP Omega War, it's like, all right, there he is, 56. That's not bad, but middle of the pack again. It's like you'd think that, you know, one of the highest Captain Americas, why can't you get bigger? Now, it's not him. I know he's skilled, right? So I look at it where it's, you know, specifically that sort of thing. Special ops, you know, a lot of people don't necessarily care about this. But again, special ops, it evens everything out. So when you're talking about a character and where they come in at, where are they at even-wise? Now, I didn't even see him in the top 100. Maybe he doesn't do it, or maybe he just can't get a high score with people because he's a Captain America, right? We'll leave that up, but I still put Captain America in that 8th slot. Next up is Doctor Strange. So Yags is one of the biggest Doctor Stranges on the server. He's huge, got a gigantic, I think he's 1.7 mil. Obviously, we've been doing the round table a little bit about him. I know plenty of Doctor Stranges on the server. They're all sort of kind of like at the point where it's like, what is going on with this? Like, I don't understand why he's busted. Here's one right here. So 1.2 mil Dimension Duel. So Blue Dragon, obviously, doing a lot of Dimension Dueling. Yags might not be doing a lot of Dimension Duel at the moment, but so we'll keep an eye out for Blue Dragon as well as Yags when we look at these lists. So what I find with Doctor Strange is he can be decent in PvP, but he needs everything to go almost perfect. Maybe even have you screw up a little bit. It's kind of like, all right, that doesn't feel like it should be right. So he's the one that I'd really like them to fix right after they're kind of done with the Starlord, Captain America, and Storm situation. So let's see if we can find any more Doctor Stranges. All right, here he is right here. So here's Yags. So Yags 1.6 specific at 24th in Omega War. And again, look at that. That is a huge power level, 1.6, and he's got everything nanoed to the guilds. So strong character there. The Battle Challenge we've already looked at earlier, but see, he might not have done this yet either. But I know he normally goes for Battle Challenge. There we go. Here's one. We got Amlodynapine. I don't know how I'm gonna say that. 1.1, around 17th in Battle Challenge. So that's good. And I also know that Yags, I think, was around first in that last season. So, you know, not too bad. And then when you're looking at this, and again, I love how they show it here. This makes it super easy. That marble. There we go. We got Novci 15th. So again, that might be because of how he's organized and doing strategy, but still, you got, you know, Doctor Stranges aren't like, you know, towards the top of the list. Now, this is where it starts to be where you get, you know, decent characters and it can kind of go any other way. I put Captain Marvel at this spot. Now, a lot of people are probably like, what are you talking about? The good ones in PvP are really sort of top of the line. I'm super impressed with them. They're really great. PvE, I want to make sure I say that right. You know, you don't really see that. So PvE, where's our first Captain Marvel here? We probably have Errance or something up here. Yes, Errance is up. That's pretty good. But Errance is a beast. Let's see where again, well, 1.1, not gigantic, but Errance puts a lot of effort. Skeleton Fish up there as well. What's Skeleton Fish at? You got a 1.4, so there's some range there, but you know, those two people are also, like I mentioned, very talented people. They've got big characters, put a lot of effort into the game. And then it really sort of drops off after that as you go through here. So when I'm looking at other PvE game modes, I mean, I jumped to Battle Challenge. Skeleton Fish, it's 6. Yeah, so not a ton in there. So Captain Marvel, I think, again, if you get her big, you know, again, you've got 2 here on the top of Dimension Duel, Errands, and again, Night Eye. I know these 2 are both really good PvP players, and they also make some pretty good solid efforts to climb those charts. So, you know, this is where you start seeing these good quality Captain Marvels, is in Dimension Duel. And that's why I started thinking, and I actually kind of wanted to have her higher on the list, but, I hit her lower, and between her and my 5th tier character, Storm, I think you could maybe say they could go either way. Storm obviously got some buffs recently, and because she's so good in the PvE content, I'm kind of like, okay, you know, a bunch of Storms here, like the top 5. Special Ops, again, a little different, but 2 Storms. But when you see these things, Snap, by the way, one of the biggest Storms out there. But when you see between Captain Marvel and Storm, that's where I sort of just like, Storm seems to be, you know, just head and heels above like all characters in PvE content. So when I'm ranking them, that's where I was thinking about it. And like, all right, you've got to be a really, really strong Captain Marvel and a really talented one, whereas a Storm, you don't necessarily have to be. You know, it's kind of like you have to be strong to be at the top, but we have some people, you know, shout out to Zero, who are 800, 900k, which is strong, but they still do really good damage in PvE as a Storm. So I'm kind of like, okay, that's why I put Storm above Captain Marvel on the list. Coming in at 4th, I actually have Spider-Man. So we're in Epic Invasion right now. So my comment here is he's amazing in PvP, amazing, but in PvE he really falls off. I think unless you are a crazy strong Spider-Man, you're not going to be on these lists. DJ Roast Beef, another really good Spider-Man. He's at 13th in the Epic Invasion. So DJ Roast Beef here is solid. What's his power at? 1.1. So not gigantic, but decent size. Let's see. Is there anyone else besides DJ? Looking at more battle challenge. Let's see. Any Spider-Man we know here? There we go. First one, Mad Max. To 1.2 mil. And that's battle challenge again. Yeah, I mean, you're just not going to see a lot of Spider-Man, honestly. And then the other PvE mode, none in the top. But then when you go to PvP, Toxic's always fighting for the top. Newfin's fighting for the top. Both Spider-Man. Toxic, what's Toxic's power here? 1.5, so that is a ton of power. Newfin, one of the, arguably the best Spider-Man in the game, in my opinion. 1.4, very, very solid, good player. Machine Gun Flow shows a Spider-Man here. I'm not sure, it must be, maybe his main, I'm not sure exactly how that shows up, but obviously it showed Starlord in another one. Rico J, this dude is super, super good. 1.7, huge character. So hard to kill in Mega Wars, just brutal. Speaking of, right at the top, right? Cool Whip, up at the top. Let's see, Toxic, we talked about Toxic. What's Machine Gun Flow? I assume this shows up as a Spider-Man here, yep. Nemesis, DJ Rose Beef, 50 Gunner. So when you start getting into PvP, Spider-Man is sick. I honestly, the fact that I have Spider-Man at 4th, I was a little uncertain of, but because he seems to fall off so much in PvE, unless you're really, really good, I'm kind of like, all right. So now the next person I've got on here is the one where I'm expecting this to be. So we're just going to talk a dialogue a little bit here. MAGIK. So obviously she's not in the game. She's going to be coming here soon, but for sure before the end of the year. I'm expecting it mid-ish December myself. I don't know. Well, again, that's just me guessing, but I think that when they're going to release new characters, I think if they make them too OP, you know, people are going to be like, everybody's going to switch. But if they make them terrible, no one's going to play it. So I'm expecting it in this 3 range. I think that, you know, we saw in this live stream, she's got some teleportation. She's got a demon form. She's got some close combat. So I'm expecting her to be pretty solid. I hope they don't make her too strong and they have to bring her down. The best thing is to make her decent, and then if you got to tweak her up, go ahead and tweak her up. So I'm sure they're already doing that, but that's the speculative part of this. I have not seen gameplay yet. I do think that she's gonna fall in that realm. So right now I'm putting MAGIK at 3. We'll see by the next time we do this, does she still fall there? So coming at number 2, which is gonna tell you who's number 1. Who's number 2? Who's number 2? Black Widow. So I'm a Black Widow. I think she's great. I love her. She's great in all game modes. She does good in PvE. She does great in PvP. You've got to be, you know her a decent and not great. It's like it's not as like a Captain America situation where you've got to be perfect or super strong. You can do good things with her low. So you've in PvP, you got Mega War, you got Mags, Dante, Ragnar. Let's see who else we got here. Flash. I think Viking was one. You'll see Black Widows all over the place in every single game mode. Mags again, Flash. What was Daniel's super? Strange. Ragnar again. So you start seeing Black Widows, like I mentioned, everywhere. Okay, again, this is a little different where Storm starts just dominating PvE, but you know, and this spoiler to who's next. See, I don't think there's not a lot of the PvP players necessarily come in here and play special ops. So people, this isn't necessarily a great indication of how she can do. You can see I'm 98th as a Black Widow. I'm 1.1 million. I had a couple days where I didn't try it, but it's, you know, gives you somewhat of an indication. Battle challenge, Storms again, a lot of the same characters. But let's look specifically also at the Dark Invasion. Or I'm sorry, Epic Invasion, mixing games there, or mixing game modes. So we've got Mamba. Now Mamba, one of the things I want to talk about. So Mamba, shout out to Mamba right now. We're in for Dark Zone. Great, just monster PvE player. So I want to give a specific shout out to Mamba. Can do some major damage, can out DPS some, who clearly is the number one character in the game, in my opinion, Iron Man. Like we've seen some strong Iron Mans go against Mamba. Mamba will out DPS them, right? So we got Mags in here. Let's see what else. We've got it, guys. King Ragnar, Wiki Wolf, another fantastic free-to-play Black Widow. Does good stuff. Doozy, a good Black Widow. I mean, you see Black Widows sort of all over the place. Dancing Unicorn, Wishia. Might be messing that up. Flash, WolverThor, all good quality Black Widows. So I like her. I do. There's some couple issues I have with her just because I play her where sometimes you can't pop that ult. It's just like she'll stand there. So anyway, little side note to that. So coming in at number 1, Iron Man. Iron Man to me is the most OP character in the game between iframes, cooldowns, power, PvP, PvE. Everybody, if they reroll, guess who they reroll? Iron Man. Okay? That tells me all I need to know is that if somebody rerolls, they go straight to Iron Man. So it's like, all right. You know, we got Obi. Shout out to Obi. Love my Obi jam. Let's see who else we got in this invasion. I know he's been doing pretty good in this game mode. He's had to cool down a little bit recently, but just doing solid. Dirk, another powerful, strong Iron Man. Let's see, done that was a Storm. Buckeye, solid. Also in PvP, I played Buckeye a little bit. Obviously, Half Send. He's dealing with some real life stuff, so he's not in. I mean, if you would have seen, if he's in to all these game modes, he's number 1. He's a super strong. No, he's like 1.8, 1.9 million. But he's good. Mobile gamer, another shout out to a content creator. He's a good dude. 26. You see a lot of Iron Man all over the place in all game modes. And that's why I sort of fall to that where it's kind of like Iron Man. You know, it's just, it is Iron Man. And like I said before, when you're looking at this different stuff, it's kind of like, all right, who are people going to roll? Iron Man. So that's where I'm at with that. Again, special ops, I don't think is a great, what was trash again, I think? Strange, yeah. Because a lot of people have sort of moved on from this game mode. And I will say this, don't move on from special ops. I know it's annoying, but it's the only place you can get costumes, and you need a lot of this for fodder. And, you know, in these green boxes or 2 to 4s, I know that means you're probably going to get a 2. But, you know, even if you're getting 5 2s, that's pretty good. So I always try to end up top 100. So little kind of tidbit for anybody still doing that. Iron Man, I don't actually see a lot of Iron Man at the top of this list, except for when, you know, again, Half Send was going for this. He was up there, right? So JS, though, Beast, number 7. So he's kind of one of the other strong Iron Men. He's also in Dark Zone. Very similar, just can rock those bosses in there. Now, when you go to Dimension Duel, okay, now again, when Half Send was around more, he wouldn't have losses. Again, he's very talented and very strong, but it gives you an idea. Iron Man XXX, another strong Iron Man, very good PvP player. A super high. Where's he at? 1.6. So that's pretty strong. There's my Obi Jam again. Cookies is Iron Man. So you get a lot of Iron Man there. Again, a Mega War. I swear Iron Man just dominate Omega War when they want. They just, it's between them and Spider-Man. It's like, okay, you know, obviously Mags is pretty good. Spider-Man, Black Widow, it's just showing Spider-Man, Black Widow. Let's see, Jake is a Captain Marvel, Captain Marvin. Dirk looks like another Iron Man who's up there. I look at Iron Man as the best in the game. So look, there is no science to this at this point. You got talent, you got, you know, the power that they put in it between the money and the effort. You got the different game modes, you got how much they can play. So a lot of this ends up being a feel, but I want to start doing this and talking about this a little bit just to share where I'm at with everything. So let me know what you think. Where am I totally off on this? I'd love to hear where you think, like, look, you know, Storm is way worse than what you're saying, or way better, or Captain Marvel being at 6th is a joke. All right. And the truth is I could see her anywhere from 3 to 6. I really could. You know, Spider-Man, I could see anywhere from really 2 to 6. You know, it's kind of like the bottom 3 to me for sure. Starlord, Captain America, Doctor Strange. Then you've got a next tier. At the bottom of this next tier is Storm and Storm and Captain Marvel, but they could be higher up. And then at the top of that tier is the Black Widow, Spider-Man for sure. And then Iron Man is always at the top. Like, I suppose somebody can make an argument for him being second, but people, when they reroll, they go Iron Man, right? So there you go. So that's all I got. Appreciate you making it this far. Like I mentioned earlier, check out the Discord link in the description below. Hammer on like buttons, click notification bells, all the different things. Oh, subscribe if you like. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.